Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to my channel and to Mixed Media Frenzy. This is where we all take the same sketch or layout and create with it. This is our inspiration for today. And I picked it out. I love it. I think it is gorgeous. And the reason I picked it out was one, I have dye that is wind catcher. Plus, I had just got watercolor pens from Peachy Cheap that was Vicky Bouton and had those colors. Well, I don't end up using them. Even though that's why I picked the layout out, I end up using my inks because I was wanting certain colors for this and they weren't the right ones. The more I thought about the layout, the more I was wanting the colors I end up using, which is pastels and my favorite to use. But when I pulled my feather dyes out, I thought, oh, I think they'd look really good in pastels. So that made up my mind. Yeah. So I will be using more pastel colors, and I'm using these inks, and I'm just using my blending brush, which is a cheapy one off of Amazon. It's not the really nice ones, but I think it works probably just as good. I'm pretty happy with it. Sometimes I'm not so happy with me using them, but I am pretty happy with how they clean off on a paper towel between uses. And you can use the same one for all of your inking for the whole page. I inked that piece of paper. It was a scrap piece of white paper. And I took my dies, which is a spellbinder's die, and cut out my feathers. And then my wind catcher, the packaging tore up a long time ago. I know it was a little online store that the girl had a YouTube channel, but it was a long while back, so I don't remember what it is. But it is adorable, and I do get to use it every now and then. I'm doing basically the same thing on my page. I'm kind of making mine longer than hers just because I get carried away. I kept telling myself as I went farther left to don't make it as long like that pink one there on the yeah, right. See, I got shorter. Look, I thought this is the last one. I better make sure it's shorter. So I did get that one shorter, although the rest are not. Um, I'm going to use twine. In the layout, it looks like she drew her line for her feathers and wind catcher, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use some gray and white twine instead. I thought, I think they go really well. I thought about using the black and drawing it myself. I thought I could do that, but I was going to keep the whole thing pastel, and I thought, what color pastel? Well, I pulled out several twines and they kind of went, and then I thought, I wonder if I got gray up there that I can use, and I did. And so I'm going to have gray for my lines. And instead of getting pattern paper, I decided that I was going to ink some white paper and layer it under the picture. And the pictures of my niece Cherokee. And when I seen the wind catcher, I thought of her because she loves catchers. Her name being Cherokee, she likes anything Indian, and she loves wind catchers. She has quite a few, and I thought this can go in her album. And it does have a filter on it, and I think it made, she already had glasses on. Those are her glasses. I think it made her freckles bigger, and of course it put a flower in. I am distressing the edges of my pieces of paper that I'm putting behind her picture. I don't usually do that, but for some reason I was in the mood to do it today, so they are getting distressed. And it has a double layer in the layout that I'm scrap lifting, and so I made two on this. This is the twine that I found, and it's Dollar Tree. I'm pretty sure Dollar Tree. And it's gray and white, and since my pastel colors were so light, I thought I'd go ahead and use it just to keep it going with the pastel kind of looking thing. I'm making a bow on my pick so I can pull my strings tight, and it gives me that, how when you're making a bow you need that extra finger to hold it down. it gives me that, so it makes it easier to make your bow. I got ready to glue it down, and I thought, well, I need to go ahead and put the string all the way across. And then I'm thinking, instead of just one string hanging down, I need two. So of course I had to stop and put another one there. But I eventually, like right now, I'm finally getting the bow on there where it goes. I am going to put the exact same thing on the left-hand side, but it'll be a little while. There's my wing catcher, and I'm not gluing the entire thing down. I glued it at the top to go underneath the edge of the twine, in the middle, and then like a little dab on each feather. You know, it wasn't very much on any of them, because I wanted it to have a little more dimension laying on my layout. And I'm going to go every other feather across there, and then I'm going to throw smaller feathers in between. I just cut the bottom part of the wind catcher where the feathers are hanging. I just die cut them out, and I did it twice, so I got 6 extra small ones that I can work into my layout. And those feathers are so pretty. They have dimension. You will see it in the close-ups that they have dimension, but you have to run it through once cutting it, and then of course you turn around and run that embossing sheet through with it, so it gets the better embossing indentation. It will have some without it, but if you want it to be deeper and to show up better, then you run it through again. And see, I made it over to the other end. I'm putting my other strings hanging down, and I'm going to put a bow there too. Looking at it, I thought it needs a little bit more. So I am going to punch out some flowers to kind of scatter throughout that. At the time, I forgot that the layout had sequins, but I will look up there and see the sequins and go ahead and put them on the layout. And I'm trying to punch these out. There's 3 that gets punched out at a time. And I was trying to punch them out where I'd have different colors. Like, like one might be yellow, one might be yellow and turquoise, one might be pink and yellow, or it might all be one color. And then I'm going to make centers for it with my 1/4 inch punch. And I'm going to do the same thing with it. And I'm going to try to offset them mostly. I think there's one at the end where I have a blue flower and a blue center. And I thought, I'm not going to punch out another center. I'm just going to go ahead and use a blue. But that's later on in the layout, because the flower will lay there a while. I tried to kind of layer some onto the feathers, and then have some kind of just midair, like they're falling down off the line, because this kind of reminds me of a clothesline. But yeah, I'm going to have some just kind of falling down, and then the others is going to go ahead and just be tucked on something. And when I got to looking at my picture, I decided that it needed something tucked in it. And I still had a few feathers left because, of course, I got carried away. I was thinking, okay, I got to have enough to go all the way across. Instead of me putting them one at a time down on the 12 by 12 paper where I could tell, I just kept cutting, which is good because I'm using them on my picture and tucking them in and layering them on the picture. And I decided to go ahead. And the reason I did this, I put the flower stuff. I had glue on my fingers from putting all the flowers on there, and I got it on the picture, and rather than reprint, I decided I was just going to cover it up. So that's why there is a flower on my picture and sequins on my picture, and of course the big feathers on my picture. But I like it, so it works. It works. I like it. I'm putting the sequins on now. Oh, and here's where I remembered that, oh no, I needed one more feather. I think that's what this is for. I think, I'm not sure. Oh, the title, the Imagine. It's laying there, right there next to it. And see, if I planned ahead on what all I wanted to do, I wouldn't have had to pull those inks back out and re-ink stuff. But yeah, I'm going to do one more feather, but I did cut it out. I was thinking, man, I thought I cut that out. But yeah, I do end up doing one more feather. And the reason is I finally remember I was going to ink underneath the picture. And when I do, my clear gesso's getting really old. I'm right at the bottom of the jar. I mean, it's there. I'm going to run out. I'm going to have to order some. I was looking online today and trying to debate, do I want the same kind or do I want to try something different? And there's a bottle where you can squirt it on, which I think I like. And so I'm trying to talk myself into getting that. But anyway, when I was putting the ink right there where I'm at right now, it's kind of messed up on the gesso, so it made marks there. And I didn't really like them there, so I'm going to put another feather there just to cover most of that up. It don't cover it all up, but it does cover most of it up. And I think I'm about done with my layout. I haven't put my, I put my sequins on. I just got a few more that I plan on putting. Oh, there's that last flower, and I think it's the blue on blue one. And I found it laying there, and I'm using it. And then some sequins. And then I'm done with my layout. But check everybody else's out. They're a lot more comfortable doing mixed media than I am. I'm always stressed out about it. Never know how it's going to turn out. And I joined this, just to push myself a little harder to do other things. And so, mixed media. So check them out. They do awesome with their mixed media. So check out their layouts. I'll leave the links below so that you can. And see what all they done this week with the same layout as a scrap lift. But thank y'all so much for watching. If you leave a comment below, I'll get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. And those of you who already are, thank you so much. But pull out your mixed media. If I can do it, you can do it. But have a happy, scrappy week. Take care and stay safe. Bye.